Yeah, I don't remember. It was one of those days. Yeah, that was a disaster.
Yeah, but I think there's a Billy Talent or something show happening there this year instead.
Oh, at like the Burles Creek place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Great.
We should definitely go.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you think they'll have water this time?
Maybe. I don't know. That was a big oversight. No water. Mick Jagger's like, no water. Drinking is for pussies.
I went to a show once in Berlin at this outdoor amphitheater space called the Citadel, and they only had sparkling water.
Ah, well,
and that was just so cruel.
That's
because
Europe,
like I don't
baby.
like. Yeah,
That's true.
You're
You're on their turf.
Yeah.
I know, but I was like, this is inhumane.
Tough shit, man. You go to Berlin, you know.
Tough titties.
Yeah.
You're lucky to find anything not sparkling in Germany. That's just kind of
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
the way it is. Yeah.
that's how it comes up from the wells.
Yeah, the land of sparkle, sparkle land.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looks like we're back for another episode of Mad Max, talking Mad Max.
Gab Max.
Gab Max. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got anything good?
I don't know, this is your job to like come up with a silly Mad Max name
no,
for
it's
me.
not. You're the guest. You're a special guest.
Well, Maxim was Mad Maxim, and
Oh yeah. Okay. What's your are you going to be Are you going to be Zack Master Blaster Galifianakis? We have Zack Galifianakis on the show.
yeah, this
It's
is
a huge get.
I sound
Yeah.
much different on podcasts.
Yeah, yeah. Or it's just when you're not in character. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I am in character right now. This is the character.
This is the character.
The rest is the real deal.
We have Zack Kotzer on,
Mm-hmm.
aka the Master Blaster, aka what was it, Blaster Master,
Blaster Master,
which is a game,
yeah,
video
that was
game.
the Nintendo game.
Yeah,
where you're a different little guy, and you have a little car tank that shoots laser beams, and you can get in and out, and you're in this underground world of monsters and caves looking for your pet frog that you, like an idiot, dropped the enclosure of while just walking in your backyard.
So similar. It's all this kind of the same thing, right?
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
That's a level of plot detail video games should get back to. I hope the next God of War is just like
find your frog.
Yeah, he loses his dog and
dog. You know, in the
Yeah.
new God of Wars, he's always like, boy,
dog.
Well, thank you very much for coming on
Yeah,
to talk about Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, which we are going to talk about very soon.
Imminently.
First, we have a couple of things. Meant to do this the past couple episodes, but we actually have a couple of emails from listeners, which is very rare. Just despite us begging at the end of every show for somebody to contact us, some sort of sign of life out there in the cold and different universe. But here it is. The subject: important online review of the franchisees. Greetings from Cowtown. It's a beautiful spring evening here in Alberta. The smell of sweet Alberta crude and bad ideas from our leading talk show host, who is obsessed with some guy with nice hair in Ottawa. Danielle float through the air as trees blossom. This is more abstract than I thought. Then while scrolling and walking the lab, I find the great review of your pod floating on Instagram by a great influencer who once played Charles Dickens in a classic film. You both must take a look and let me know what you think. Love ya, Benny boy. Fraser. Thank you, Fraser. I appreciate that. Let's see the link here. Who's been... All right, well... It seems as though we've been punked, Alex.
It's kind of like a Rickroll.
It seems as though we've been gonzo rolled because it's
Gonzo as Shock
It's
G.
Gonzo as doing rapping, of course. The Humpty dance.
Rest in peace, Gonzo.
Rest in peace, Gonzo. Rest in peace, Shock G. Yeah. Well, thank you, Fraser. I was looking forward to reading a good review of the show, but I always like to hear the Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
Fraser was the person who introduced me to the Humpty Dance, and in fact taught me and a number of people how to do the Humpty Dance. And we did it. We performed it many times at Queen's University.
Oh,
Funland. Yeah. Funland, not that Funland. A much less fun Funland, but. that made it fun. And looks like we have some other ones here from Jordan Secareccia. Oh,
Wow.
as if he doesn't come up enough already.
Yeah.
He has to email us. What is this? The subject is Al Pacino. I have a game. You have to read the hypothetical Al Pacino quote out loud and then guess what movie it's from. You have to read them out loud in the voice. Feel free to ad-lib. It might help you discover more about yourself / what movie it's supposed to be. I'll send a separate email with answers. And then there's another email.
Yeah.
Maybe the best way to play is to have one person reading the lines and knowing the answers and the other person trying to guess. Or the person who's reading doesn't know the answers. And okay, blah, blah, blah.
We haven't really planned for this.
That's all right. I'll read them to you and you can guess.
Okay, sure. But you have the answers handy as well?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're right here. Answers. Do not open until you've played the game. Oh, my God. What the fuck is all this?
Well, you don't get many emails, but when you do, you get them where they count.
I mean, I think this is a real game. Okay. Are you ready?
Sure.
There's some Al Pacino movies on here that I don't think you know exist. But
Great.
Do your best. Okay. Ready?
How up to date are you with Al Pacino, Zach?
When you said that, there's one movie that came to mind, so I'm curious if it's gonna.
All right. Here we go. Okay, number 1. Oh, how does he sound again? Hooah! What's that smell?
Scent of a Woman.
Scent of a woman. That's right.
Okay.
He does say that. Yeah.
There's a pretty crucial hint in that.
He
one.
does say that. Okay.
Starting off easy.
Here's another one. Okay. Al Pacino. My crops.
My crops.
My crops.
My crops.
You don't know this? You never heard of this movie, I guarantee it.
Do you have any ideas, Zach?
Zach, I don't think so. This is a 70s movie. Jerry Schatzberg with Gene Hackman and Al Pacino called Scarecrow.
Okay.
My crops. All right, here's another one.
I hate this so much.
Here's another one. Wow, what a great kill. What a great kill.
What a great kill.
No, you don't know. This is a more recent one. Righteous Kill.
Righteous Kill.
No,
okay.
you never. Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Here's another one. You're hired. You're hired.
The Devil's Advocate?
No, the Recruit.
Oh.
Okay, well, you're not doing very good. Okay, here's another one. You're dead. You're dead.
Dick Tracy.
No? Oh, jeez.
You
Maybe just did that in a sort of
Righteous-
especially big boy voice.
Righteous Kill.
No, it's author. I don't know.
This is so fucked. This is such
Well, we got to read the
bad
rest.
content.
I'm sorry. This is now the worst episode of the franchisees. Thanks to Jordan.
I'm glad to be a part of it.
Ow, my face. Ow, my face.
Dick Tracy because he plays Pruneface.
Scarface. It's Scarface.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Idiot.
You played Big Boy, not Pruneface.
Who was Pruneface? Maybe that was just from The Simpsons. Maybe I'm just thinking of the Simpsons quote.
We've got to stop sitting down. We've got to stop sitting down. Jack and Jill. Huh? Get it? These are all jokes. Jordan's just having a bit of a fun.
Did he
bit of
write
fun with
these?
us. Yeah.
What a fucking dickhead.
Yeah. Okay, here you go. Here you go. You'll be able to get this one. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I need you to lay your penis on my sketchbook.
Scent of a Woman?
Oh no, there's no repeats. There's no repeats.
Insomnia?
I need you. Okay, Al Pacino. I need you to lay your penis on my sketchbook. Dick Tracy.
Oh, that one's Dick
Tracy.
Tracy.
Right?
Oh, I
Dick
see.
Tracy.
To trace around one's
All right,
dick.
and that's the end of that bit. Jordan, you're never coming back on the show, and we'll never read another email ever again.
I was positive one of them was going to be about 88 minutes, which is probably the...
Well, I have made that joke already. Maybe that's why. Yeah. I
that's-
only have 84 more minutes.
that might be the worst movie I've seen like on the big screen when it came out.
Oh, you
Oh,
did,
cool.
eh? Yeah.
Back when I was in second year at
Yeah.
York, my friends and I, like every Friday, we would just like go see a movie no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, even if there wasn't anything good. And that was like... I think that was a time when we just like retired that whole concept because like this was awful.
Yeah, we're never going to... And you never saw a movie ever again.
Never saw a movie ever again.
Until tonight.
Well, I saw Thunderdome before. I saw 88 minutes starring Al Pacino.
You never saw a new release movie in theaters again.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
so after 88 minutes, which is what, like 2010, 2009,
like
2009
might be.
So you haven't seen a new release movie from 2009 onwards.
No, because I jabbed my eyes out immediately after.
That's crazy.
And I haven't seen anything.
I do like your glasses.
Oh yeah. I thought.
Actually, something George Miller would wear too.
Sort of what I was going through my head. The thing is, like, they're tinted lenses, so if I don't take them off for too long, everything's green.
Oh, cool.
Which I don't know why I say that when I take them off, because you don't see that. It's how I perceive the world right now. But
I'm always trying to kind of understand. Sometimes I will say, when I'm looking at a situation, what would this look like to Zach? You know,
you seem a little green with envy over my cool George Miller-esque tinted glasses.
I'm honestly a little jealous. Yeah, that's okay though.
They are cool.
Yeah, pretty sweet. He's raising and lowering the glasses,
inspecting everything in a nice green hue.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk about this movie. Let's quickly talk about some movies we've seen. Zach, why don't we start with you? Because you haven't seen any new movies since 2009, but have you seen any old movies recently that you think are worth talking about?
I'm pretty bad at watching movies on my own.
Yeah,
I find, but I do like to watch like the secret Twitch stream channels that are just playing. Whatever.
That's fun.
It's very TV-like, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
And also, you'll just like get to watch a movie you didn't really expect to ever see in your life.
Yeah.
And
like that when Justin Decloux does the Mind Melters, like I never heard of any of those movies, and you're like, wow, like this is truly a discovery.
They're not. Most of them aren't nearly that curated, but nonetheless,
I'm sure. Yeah,
you're reaching your hand into that bag, and you're like, I wonder what I'm going to pull out.
Yeah.
And on a recent occasion, I pulled out a 1989 science fiction film starring Chris Christopherson called Millennium.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, it is. It's bad, but it's really in really weird ways. It does feel like two movies got stapled together somehow.
Probably what happened. Yeah.
So it starts off as kind of like a sci-fi mystery, and not like a plane. Chris Christopherson is a guy who like investigates plane crashes.
Yeah.
And there's like this really weird one where like everyone on the plane disappeared, and he's trying to figure out, what the hell happened here.
Yeah.
And he suspects some sort of like, techno, sci-fi, maybe even alien nonsense is involved. He has sex with this like cool woman he meets, and then discovers like some weird devices on her persons, and then the next day is warped to the future, and this is where the movie really gets extra stupid. So you learn that in the future, which looks like a really cheap, like European Star Wars, like really cheap. They have like droids. There's like there's a more pathetic C-3PO that like hounds who becomes the main character. So it turns out that woman is like one of these time travelers, and they do this thing where they like pluck people from the past and bring them to the future.
Oh yeah, okay.
And they disguise them as plane crashes. And they do this all the time, but also the future's like falling apart.
Yeah.
What's it called? Black Box?
Millennium.
Oh, okay.
It's called Millennium. And by fucking Chris Christopherson, she accidentally creates a time paradox.
Right.
So now the movie becomes no longer about, what's going on with these planes. Because you just found out. You just figured it out. Chris Christopherson just figured it out.
They're stealing people for the
Instead,
future.
the movie now becomes about her having to maneuver a way to go back in time the right way to fuck Chris Christopherson again.
Right.
As not to...
Because that dick was so good, right?
Yeah, as not...
go back for seconds.
Dick's so good that, like, the balance of the space timeline now depends on it.
Damn, okay. Well, I mean, that honestly, that sounds great. That sounds like something I would really like.
That sounds like a good sister accompaniment movie to Teorema by Pasolini.
Sure.
In like the duology of Dick So Good movies.
I thought the same thing. Just like Pasolini.
Yeah, what about you, Alex? Anything?
Yeah, I did watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I did see the new one.
Yeah.
not great.
Apes Together Strong or Ape Not Kill Ape?
Me personally,
yeah,
Ape Not Kill Ape.
I agree.
It's such an interesting IP, the Planet of the Apes, and the fact that
APE.
Yeah,
that's how you spell it, not IP. Fucking idiot.
It's just kind of it was super disappointing that they haven't done anything interesting with it really in so long.
Yeah,
that initial new prequel trilogy was just kind of rehashing.
I don't know, that second one's pretty good, right?
There's fun to have in them for sure, but part of what I like about the original 5 was that they are all so weird and different, and unique, similar to what I like about Mad Max.
Talk until this new one, right? Like they don't talk in full sentences until the new one.
I thought they did in the third one with Woody Harrelson, but it's been a while since I've seen it. I don't know. This one was just like kind of disappointing and dumb in a lot of ways.
As high quality these movies might be, I'm definitely gonna like lose track of them if they keep making them.
Too many apes. Yeah,
it's gonna be a super long franchise to do eventually.
We'll do it though.
We will.
And you have that one Tim Burton one, right? Dead in the Middle.
Oh yeah, the best one. Yeah.
I watched Lynn Ramsey's Ratcatcher.
Oh,
have you ever seen Ratcatcher?
No, I've always wanted to.
There was a lot I admired about it and appreciated, but it didn't really hit me in the feels in any way. And
sounds like a problem with you.
Sure, maybe. But like I really, again, I like Lynn Ramsey a lot. I actually really like We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Yeah,
I think that's a good movie and a good book. I read it.
Oh yeah.
This one, cool aspects to it. It kind of dips into some magical realism, which was kind of interesting to go from bleak Glasgow kitchen sink drama to a bit of magical stuff.
Oh, nice.
But it just didn't really move me in any way.
Well, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that soon so that I can come on here and say it's good.
Yeah.
But what if I hate it?
No,
we're in trouble.
I think it's good.
Right.
I just don't. It didn't
hit you the way you wanted it to.
I did want it to rock.
You know what?
Amadeus.
You need to get hit with a hammer by Joaquin Phoenix in Lynn Ramsey's "You Were Never Really Here."
Which I remember being kind of disappointed by that too.
Watch that one again because I think that one's really, really good.
Okay.
And it is a sequel to "I'm Still Here," the Joaquin Phoenix
Dylan
movie. Or no, isn't that
Sorry,
I'm Still Here.
I'm Still Here.
Yeah.
The one where they
his
they
rap
got up to all
one.
sorts of bad things.
Yeah, that was a real white knuckle. Decided to watch with my parents for some reason.
Oh, brutal.
Movie.
No, bad. It's such a noxious movie. Like,
and now we can't even talk about the best part of it because it's the P. Diddy scene.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot.
Where he shows Diddy his like demo tape, and he's just like sort of really you can see Joaquin Phoenix like really digging it in the background, like really feeling it moving through his body, and Diddy just like looking like dead inside.
And
like,
he tells him like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who's laughing now, right?
What a short chapter. What a short and largely forgotten chapter in
Well,
Joaquin
I think
Phoenix's
that's a good
career.
thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah. All right, what else?
Ben forced me to watch Unfrosted.
Bonus episode coming soon.
Dedicated a whole episode to it, so I won't say much now other than it's really good.
Yeah, great movie. Yeah, we're going to be dropping a hot take fresh out of the toaster Unfrosted episode.
Well, Jerry's just on such a career high. You know, he keeps mowing him down.
And a personal high. Because he's obviously, the press cycle for this movie, as we talk about in the episode, he's just been such a wonderful presence. So happy and self-fulfilled. Like, honestly, you love to see it. Right?
Every time he appears, like, people stand up. They can't help but get out of their chair.
He literally lights up the room. Yeah.
All he does is win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Immediately after seeing Unfrosted with Ben, I went and I saw Polyester at the Paradise.
Very good.
Where they gave out Odorama cards. And honestly, some of my Odorama things were like really hard to scratch off, and I tore through them and stuff. And
it all kind of smells the same, I find.
A lot of them just smelled like really noxious shit. There were a few that smelled differently. Yeah. But a lot of them I was just
bad.
And it was making my fingers smell bad. Like it was kind of...
You gotta use a coin next time.
I tried with a coin at first, but I because I was like doing it on my thigh, and then I just like scratched
doing it with
through.
your raw fingers, like
what? No, I
With your
used
nails,
a coin and then I
Oh,
switched to
sorry.
keys.
Keys, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But I just didn't have a hard surface to do it on, so I poked through it.
Right. It all smells bad.
And it all just kind of smelled like a weird chemically shit smell.
Yeah, like those really cheap kind of perfume samples that are in magazines or something.
But the movie itself, it was only the second John Waters movie I'd seen. I'd only seen Pink Flamingos beforehand. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was so funny. It was such a great palate cleanser from Unfrosted. Just full of that like weirdo madcap Baltimore energy. And it genuinely had me laughing, like full on guffawing, chortling, snorting, all that good stuff. And the crowd was great too. Like everyone like was really into it and was like laughing but not being obnoxious. It was a great theater going experience, and I think a great movie. I think I probably like it more than Pink Flamingos, just because Pink Flamingos is more like meant to just kind of like
gross,
rub your nose in it, you know.
Polyester is hilarious.
It's really
I
funny.
really like Tab Hunter as well. I want to see more Tab Hunter movies.
Todd Tomorrow.
Yeah.
The guy who plays her Francine Fishpaw's husband, Elmer Fishpaw, is really funny too. Like he's just such a fucking miserable, fucking hateful man. It's a good movie.
We're gonna get all the kids really into Tab Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have screenings of Lafayette Escadrille.
Yeah.
The title on the tip of every teen's tongue.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually it for me. Those are the
nice.
only things I'd seen in the interim.
I went to see my parents for Mother's Day. Got up to some movie watching as we tend to do.
Thought you were about to review your parents. For us.
Yeah, I would say my mom is doing well, 10 out of 10. My dad is also doing well, so I would give him a 10 out of 10 as well. Yeah, they listened though, so that's why I said
high praise.
I had to kind of because they might listen to.
Now I can't trust your input as a professional critic.
Well, you shouldn't. You definitely shouldn't. We watched a Most Wanted Man. One of the final Philip Seymour Hoffman performances, and they're both really big Philip Seymour Hoffman heads, and none of us had seen it. And it's a very, very solid movie, but especially a great last performance from him. That is like very like slow burn and like reined in, and then you get to the end when everything goes awry, and there's a great clip. You shouldn't watch it out of context, but you could just go watch the clip of the end when. Everything goes to shit, and he gets out of his car and he goes, "Fuck! Fuck!" Yeah, it's great. Fuck! Yeah! Fuck! It's great, and it's all like he hasn't done any of that. It's not like Charlie Wilson's War, where the whole time he's like, "Fuck, shit, fuck." Anyway. What a talent.
I do want to see that.
Yeah, it's good. He's like German in it too. He's doing a voice and everything. Anyway.
If you love him in that, you should see him in the Hunger Games. Which
we did on the pod. Yeah. His finest hour.
Plutarch Heavensby.
Plutarch Heavensby. Fuck shit. These fucking games. Yeah. Watch a movie. So my parents have TCM and they record it a lot for when I'm up and for themselves and so on. And watched Elmer Gantry, the Burt Lancaster movie, the one where he won the Best Actor in 1960 Oscar. It's incredible, and it's sort of speaking of Philip Seymour Hoffman a little bit. Like Elmer Gantry, the movie is like about like a charismatic like con man preacher guy, right? And it feels like the DNA is, and he's talked about this, very, very heavy in the Paul Thomas Anderson movies. So in There Will Be Blood, it's basically like 2.5 hours of I'm an oil man. I think you'll agree. This is my son and partner HW. But he's not. He's like I'm a God man. I'm a Bible man. and then also cool. Very much so in The Master as well. Some of the like Philip Seymour Hoffman kind of. Yeah, I mean, it obviously just seems like a big movie for PTA, but incredible movie. Like, cool. Loved it. Burt Lancaster is insane. It's just like it's such a charismatic performance. I really enjoyed it.
I will check that out.
And I was watching some of the Mike Leigh like BBC movies he did like before he started making like theatrical features. Nuts in May and Abigail's Party, both really, really funny. Both starring Alison Steadman, who he was married to for a time, and she's like so hilarious in those movies. And I'm excited to kind of on a Mike Leigh kick, trying to watch, because I've seen some when I was younger, but I don't remember them very well, and it's been really good to revisit them. There's one that's like a half hour called A Sense of History, which is written by Jim Broadbent, who's in a lot of couple of Mike Leigh movies as well. Oh, and that, you can see that on YouTube, like 25 minutes. It's called A Sense of History. It's hilarious. It's just like a kind of a parody of like those BBC or whatever guy standing talking to the camera about his country estate or something. But it goes from there. It's like very, very funny and a little bit twisted as well. And then finally, speaking of twisted, I stole a movie from the specifically illegal moviedownloads.com. Kiyoshi Kurosawa's Chime, which is one of 3 projects he has coming out in 2024, which is insane. And people are calling it the Year of Kiyoshi. This one is 45 minutes long, and it was made and like released through like a sort of like NFT adjacent like style of releasing, where you can go to this website and like buy like a license for it and then rent it out to your friends. I don't know why you would, but it's it's like $100.
It's kind of like a WWE kind of model.
Kind of pay-per-view sort of thing. Or you could just steal it. And you know what? I've spent a lot of money on Kiyoshi Kurosawa Blu-rays, so I'm allowed to steal it, and that's fine. But also, I want to say, it's incredible. It's like, and I've mostly seen some of the like the big ones, like Cure and Pulse and Tokyo Sonata, and it feels like a perfect kind of like jumble of those 3 movies in 45 minutes. It's absolutely terrifying. I was genuinely like really scared. I was like watching it, with the lights off, like on my laptop, and I was scared. And everyone should go see it. And it's okay to steal. And also, NFT art is now cool because somebody I like did it and did it well. So it's now ethical and cool.
What's the movie called again?
Chime. Yeah. Everybody's chiming. That's the catchphrase.
Yep.
Did your Bored Ape show up in it?
Yeah, there is one of the lead actors is a Bored Ape. yeah. No, it's really good.
That looks like a more endearing ape.
Oh yeah, there's a monkey on the TV. Yeah.
The screensaver.
Yeah, Alex has the monkey channel on.
No, it's just the screensaver.
the monkey channel. Yeah. The chime from Chime versus the Memoria, the boom from Memoria. Everyone's talking about it. The fight of the century. But of course, you haven't seen these movies, so it doesn't make any sense. That's totally fine.
I've seen Memoria.
You've seen Memoria. You've seen Memoria.
And I was hooting and hollering when we found out what made that noise.
Oh, me too.
That was like the first movie I had seen like in the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like that was like, because like movies hadn't really come back at that point, and like even the Lightbox was just sort of getting the gears turning again.
Yeah, and the Memoria release was super weird, stopping and starting, and when it finally showed up in Toronto, right?
So I hit up the Lightbox for that, and it's like 3 p.m. screening. You can kind of imagine how packed the theater was. So I felt at liberty to just like stand up and just like.
Did you really stand
up? Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So I also saw it in the Lightbox with some other people, but it was more of a evening, like a tempered reactions. But I was definitely smiling ear to ear, and in my head thinking, screaming, "Let's go!"
Yeah. Because movies are back. Movies are back in a big way.
Within the 2 or 3 weeks leading up to when it came out, I caught up on all his movies. With the exception, I think, of maybe Mekong Hotel and the sort of bastard child. The Adventures of Iron Pussy, which people don't really count as part of his oeuvre.
I just appreciate like the movie's such a journey that by that point you've almost completely forgotten about like the sound that kicked things off.
Oh yeah, I mean, but yeah, it's I think so. There are similar moments in his other movies, but I think that whatever you want to call it, a reveal, or you want to call it a twist, or whatever it is, that moment is one of the genuinely most satisfying things I've ever seen in any movie ever. It filled me with a bright inner light.
It's a treat. It's a treat for you.
Yeah.
It's dessert. It's you ate a lot of vegetables.
Well, and so many people I think talk about movies in a negative way as like, oh, nothing happened, or like, oh, there wasn't any answer to these questions posed, or there wasn't any pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and you know, and then you're like, and then you, the smarter person, says, oh, well, that's how it's supposed to be. You're actually dumb that you like wanted the answer for this, or you wanted this or that. There's ambiguity. Ever heard of it? Blah blah blah, and like that's true a lot of the time. But when a movie has something, when a movie poses a lot of questions and then has like an extremely satisfying, I guess I don't really want to spoil anything, but like, let's just say like bizarre kind of, but like beautiful kind of answer to whatever that question is or what the central mystery is, it can be really satisfying too. And yeah, one of my big movie going regrets is like, I kept thinking, I'll go see Memoria again at TIFF before it goes, and then I didn't. And now it's like never going anywhere. I don't know. It's just a shame. I'm sure it'll come back. Also, I do have a Blu-ray of it. We're going to have a Memoria screening sometime.
Proposed as one of those like summertime park movies.
Yeah, actually,
Young
Toronto,
and Dundas Square.
Yeah, Toronto Outdoor Picture Show is happening, of course. Christy Pitts will be showing Memoria. Young and Dundas will be showing Memoria as well. Corktown Commons will be showing Memoria.
They're timing it so that if you leave Memoria at Christy Pitts, you can arrive at the Young and Dundas one in time to meet that fisherman again who... Hernan. Yeah. He's a sleepy guy. I've never identified with a character more than that. Anyway, sorry, Alex. You should see Memoria so you can catch up on the chit chat.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go watch it and then re-listen to this episode and be like, God damn, that was a good point.
I think you would really like what we're talking about. Yeah, but also
sure
everybody go see all the Kiyoshi Kurosawa movies you can,
and then steal Chime.
And then buy my Bored Ape.
Yeah, and buy Zack's Bored Ape. But honestly, like if you haven't seen Cure or Pulse or whatever, and you want to see Chime, get chiming. It's time. It's time to chime.
That's also the tagline of the film.
It's time to chime. All right, let's talk about what we're here to talk about today.
3 men enter. One man leaves?
I guess if 3 men enter...
You'll probably stay here.
Right? Yeah, I live here, so I'm staying.
Yeah, so you were here before, so 2 men have entered, and then 2 men will leave.
I'm Tina Turner.
You're Tina Turner.
I'm Aunty Entity.
You're just watching, Yeah. And Zack is Master, and I'm Blaster, because I'm the big boy. And also, simple.
I'm Blaster, you're Master, and you, because I'm taller than you, and you just kind of ride around on my shoulders barking orders.
I would break your back if I rode around on your shoulders. I am neither small
Ben, what are your feelings about whistles?
Whistles?
Whistles, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, as long as there isn't one that is pitched so that I find it annoying... and can get easily into the control of other people so that they can paralyze me, I'm pro whistle. Yeah.
You're pro whistle?
But as long as that specific thing doesn't happen.
Whistles completely debilitate me, and I just kind of fall to my knees and scream, so...
Yeah.
Well, I think we figured out who's the master.
Yeah, we figured it out. Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Mad Max 3. 1980... Five? Good start, eh?
I think it's 1985.
I think you're right. And it is indeed 1985.
Huzzah.
George Miller is back, but he's brought another George to help co-direct. George Ogilvy. What do we know about George Ogilvy? Nothing. We don't know who he is. Oh, no, never mind. We do. He's Australian, and he's dead now. It's very sad. Part of the...
Those are 2 things about George.
So one of the things about Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome is in between Road Warrior and this movie, George Miller's producing partner and very good friend Byron Kennedy died in a helicopter crash.
Who this movie is dedicated
and
to.
the movie is dedicated to, yeah. And I think that had a big impact on George Miller, obviously, but also on what the movie ended up being. You know, I think that is also why, you know, he chose to have a co-director as well. Like, he was grieving and other things were going on. And maybe that's also to account for, you know, the quality of the movie. I don't know.
Some of the stylistic shifts.
Yeah, well, I guess kind of the angle on this movie has always been that it's like the least good one, and also the most, but maybe the most commercial one, the highest budget one, the one that's it's PG-13, it's for kids. There's a big section with a lot of kids.
What's the temperature of the water? Because like,
yeah,
sometimes I can't tell if people merely feel it's the weakest Mad Max movie, or if there's like a
People
contingency
actually,
like of people who hate it. Like,
yeah,
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all.
I like it.
Well,
I actively
yeah.
like it.
And one thing I got to say off the bat too is that I watched this movie right after Unfrosted, and let me tell you, it really did a good, you know, it lifted up. Sometimes a bad work of art can lift up another work of art.
you had the frosting, and then you had the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and obviously,
Unfrosted is not the frosting.
yeah,
I would not even give it that.
Unfrosted is nothing. Unfrosted is opening a bag, the tinfoil of the Pop-Tarts, and there's nothing there. It's just the foil.
Yeah.
And maybe some crumbs.
And it smells like an Odorama scratch card. Like, it's just got that putrid...
Do you think if Unfrosted had an Odorama scratch card,
It'd
it would have
be
been better? Probably.
What if they just gave you a Pop-Tart and they said, like, you can just eat this. You don't have to watch the movie. Just eat a Pop-Tart. You'll feel way better.
I mean,
I
that would have worked on
No,
me.
because we ate Pop-Tarts while we watched it. And
yeah,
it
but
did
then
not.
that also worked. I should never have bought them because of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like you watch Air and you go buy some Air Jordans. You know, like you can't do that. You can't be doing any of that with these movies. You can't see the Tetris movie and then go buy Tetris. It's not really a good example. What's another one?
Barbie.
You can't go out and buy a Barbie. You can't Barbie's Dream House. You can't watch House of Gucci and go buy some Gucci clothes.
So
right?
we did immediately after watching it. We went to the Gucci store and dropped a couple racks.
We did, yeah.
Earlier you complimented my George Miller-esque sunglasses. But
Are they Gucci?
No, but I'm about to say, like, my shirt's very Wildberry Pop-Tart.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's true, yeah.
But and also like that, the famous like 90s cup,
yeah.
like, you know, style, like
90s cup.
You know, you know what I'm talking about.
The like, was it Fuck Jerry that made their avatar?
That's the
second time Fuck Jerry's
that came up in two. Well, I think because just yesterday I said Fuck Jerry as in Seinfeld.
Yeah. But then we were talking about the very funny meme company.
I know what you mean, that aesthetic, like with the squiggly, like kind of purple pink line.
That's what I'm talking about.
Had I made a Pop-Tart movie, it'd be dedicated, like, getting to the bottom of who created the Wildberry Pop-Tart pattern of, like...
Yeah.
Someone just, like, in the room is like, all right, we got a chocolate one, fine. We got a pink strawberry one, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what if we made a Pop-Tart that didn't look like anything?
This one's kind of tropical, right? What says tropical?
If I made a Pop-Tart movie, I'd dedicate it to the brave fighters of the Mujahideen.
I thought that's what Unfrosted did.
No, Unfrosted is Unfrosted ends with a dance. We can't talk about Unfrosted again. Sorry. The listeners don't know yet, but they will because we already said it. But also, you're going to hear about Unfrosted a lot.
There's a barn burner Unfrosted episode coming out.
Yeah, coming up. But it's not. It's Unfrosted is dedicated to Satan.
Consensus.
Yeah.
Unfrosted's dedicated to Satan. Thunderdome. Some people.
I like it.
Yeah. I think so. I didn't watch this when I was younger. I watched the first two Mad Max movies, and I don't know why I never got around to the third one. Maybe because it had a reputation or some received wisdom. I was like, this is like a bad one. So I only watched it for the first time like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought it was not bad. And then this time, like especially the first like 40 minutes, 50 minutes in Bartertown with Master Blaster with the Thunderdome, you know, just on production design alone, it's like it's an incredible movie.
Yeah.
I don't like when they go to the kids because I find the kids kind of annoying, and maybe it's just because when they do when they do their dumb talking, like with the, you know, because they've all like learned. They
misuse
like
words, or they say like the.
I don't know what the word would be, but because they're like survivors of a plane crash, like in the desert, right?
In an oasis,
and a lot of them have like learned how to talk like from other kids teaching them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, they all sound like the Tom Hanks section in Cloud Atlas, right? Where they're like, you speak the true, you know? Like, you ever seen Cloud Atlas?
I actually haven't.
That's your new favorite movie.
Yeah, I gotta watch Cloud Atlas.
The movie in general, like, compared to the other two, is so much more like a response to Star Wars.
Yeah.
In a way, it feels so much more tooled to, like, compete with the kind of other blockbusters at the time.
Exactly.
In the way that the first two weren't.
You know what it gave me the strong vibe of was Indiana Jones. Like, especially having covered it on this pod, there were sequences in it, like especially at the end where they're kind of like riding on a train, where it was like you just slap some swastikas on some of these vehicles and it just like kind of looks like Indiana Jones too. It just had more of a Indiana Jones 80s adventure movie vibe.
Well, definitely. And I was thinking about Star Wars as well, in particular Return of the Jedi. Like, you know, you have the kids who are the Ewoks.
They're Ewoks.
Right?
The kids they dress like Ewoks. They behave very Ewok-like in nature.
Yeah, and you know, all just some of them
look like facially like Ewoks too.
Yeah. And I think just the overall the like somewhat lighter tone of the whole thing as well feels like a little bit more playful, like adventure.
It's less bleak than Road Warrior.
Yeah.
Well, than the first two for sure.
Than the first two, yeah. And less violent.
Generally. Yeah, it's generally less violent. There's generally less car stuff.
I always forget though. It still ends in a really good chase.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
And if you're trading, I mean, on the podcast, usually like goes sequentially through the film.
Yeah, we should do that. We'll set up sort of what it's about, and then we'll go through it. So basically, like, you know, Mad Max, he's back. He wandered back into the desert. Now he wanders back in again.
He's got the Interceptor pulled by a group of camels. He's fastened them. Yeah. Now he's using camel power instead of horsepower. And
he ends up in Bartertown.
Yes. His caravan gets stolen.
Yeah.
By another freaking gyro captain pilot.
Yeah.
Also played by Bruce Spence.
Yeah.
Who has a child sidekick in this one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and his name is Jedediah now.
Yeah.
Anyway, he ends up in Bartertown, which is like the closest thing we've seen to a functional society, I guess.
Yeah, like the rebuilding.
Yeah, they're rebuilding, and it's a total like hell nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, Tina Turner is like the president, I guess, lady. And but the main kind of her big main nemesis is Master Blaster, which is such an interesting character because it's two people who form one entity.
Yep.
and like are referred to as one entity.
Yeah.
A little man, Master.
Angelo Rossetti.
Yeah, who's the brains of the operation
from Todd Browning's Freaks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. And then
the Swordfish Trombones album cover.
Yeah. Oh man, it's all connected.
I love that by the end of the movie, he's just like wearing a bespoke little suit.
Yeah. He looks like he's a little gentleman. Yeah.
He spent most of the movie just like, you know, as greased up in a leather thong as like everybody else. But by the end, he comes into his true form. Of just
I mean, spoilers. He's actually like not a bad guy necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I liked about this one. I think more so than the Road Warrior, they're all like not really bad people. Like even Tina Turner, who's ostensibly the kind of main antagonist, she's just, you know, she kind of established like order in society, and it's all barter based and trade based, and like, you know, what can you do for me?
Zone. And most importantly, all the laws rhyme.
Or are based on like a little fun thing to chant. I love that. Like, 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, or like bust a deal, face the wheel. Like,
yeah.
I love that.
Okay, so that's one of the funniest parts of the movie is that anytime something like that comes up, someone will say it, and then like hundreds of people will repeat it, and it becomes very funny, especially when Master says it, because he's like a funny presence.
Can you imagine how much more like engaged in politics and democracy like everyone would be if like every bit of policy could be reduced down to just like a slogan?
It'd be so much better.
Do you think? Do you think?
No, but I do like
that. Do you think the presidential debates would be better if they were more based on Thunderdome?
I would love to see. I would love to see Biden and Trump in Thunderdome on the like. As is, you just put them on those rubber bands and you wind them up and launch them.
So let me continue. We'll just do that first chunk and then we'll do the kid part after. So basically he's in Bartertown, whatever. Tina Turner
he wants his car back from cronies, the gyro guy.
They're like, if you help us out, you have to kill Blaster. So this other half of Master Blaster.
The Brawn.
Blaster is a giant guy who Master rides on top of and directs and controls, right? And the only way to like kill him is to challenge him to combat in the Thunderdome. The rules of the Thunderdome are simple: 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. 2 men enter, 1
man leaves.
We accept her.
We accept her. Google gobble Google.
And basically, I mean, that's the big kind of cool set piece in the first chunk of the movie. And eventually they do get to fight in there. So like, let's talk about the Thunderdome. Right?
That whole first chunk rocks. Like, I love it. Like, it starts off on like kind of wonky footing because there's that like Tina Turner like R&B song playing during the opening credits.
There's a lot of good saxophone music in this one.
And it has such like an 80s vibe, more of that adventure spirit. But again, it's that George Miller, like, and whoever his production designer was, like, their work into creating these really interesting environments. And this, like, the town of Bartertown is just like awesome, and like all these details and how everything about the whole system is like, based on this trading economy. Like, it's just like really intoxicating to watch. I found it like
it's the most like interesting setup any of these movies had so far, like to have Max like suddenly ingrained in the local politics of this village, and it's so digestible, it's so like seamless, but unfortunately like it doesn't go too much further than that. The movie kind of, we'll get to it, but it gets distracted. Like
it takes a zag, you know. But right from the beginning, like with the Tina Turner music and the opening credits, like there's one opening credit card that is like introducing your new favorite characters, and it's like Gecko, Screw Loose, Mr. Skyfish, and you're like, oh, here we are, like Mad Max, like I'm back, baby.
The boys are back.
I can't wait to meet Screw Loose and Mr. Skyfish.
Savannah Nix.
And then when he first shows up, like he's got the long hair and he's kind of got robes on.
He looks hilarious.
He looks like William Wallace.
Oh my God!
He looks like national hero of Scotland and proud gay man William Wallace.
He got a much better wig for William Wallace than the.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The hair, the hair is out of control in this movie.
Yeah.
And everywhere you turn, the hair is out of control in a way
it was
unseen in previous Mad Maxes too.
Yeah.
It was the first thing I called out in my Letterboxd review. I was like, I forgot his hair was like this. It's amazing. The turbo mullet.
It's not even like cool. It's just out of control.
Yeah, and I don't understand where they get the resources to fashion their hair that way. There's the whole like city runs on methane from pigs.
Pig shit.
And so they're like to infiltrate like the Master Blaster domain, you have to like get a job shoveling pig shit. So that's what Mel is doing for a while.
And the reason there's like the feud between Aunty Entity and Master Blaster is because like while she runs the show above ground, like none of it works. Yeah. Unless the pigs are shitting and Master Blaster's running that whole thing below ground, and they establish early on that like these two do not get along at all.
Yeah, that's right. I always forget her name's Aunty Entity.
Yeah.
That's great.
I love the scene where Master Blaster gets her to say over like a PA to everyone who runs Bartertown.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "Who run Bartertown?"
Yeah, yeah.
Louder.
he talks in weird clipped kind
He
of
drops
sentences
words.
too. Yeah.
Or like prepositions and
But
stuff.
only as master, because once he gets in the little suit, he's like a dapper little gentleman, you know?
It unlocks core memories and learnings.
Yeah. Yeah. Who run Bartertown?
Louder.
Louder. Yeah, he's
But yeah,
great.
Aunty Entity just like she wishes she could just rub Master's face and all the like
In the pig shit.
in the pig shit.
Yeah.
and,
Or literally feed him to the pigs, which is what almost happens. Yeah. So, eventually, like, Mad Max can confront, like, Blaster and try, say, you
stole my car.
You've offended my honor. Yeah, I
was about
demand
the car.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because he had it booby trapped or something, and he
right.
It sets off the alarm, and that's how he learns Blaster is weak to loud noises.
Right.
he's got a Pokemon weakness, and that's when he knows like I know exactly how I'm gonna take this fellow down.
Oh, you Squirtle.
They end up in the Thunderdome.
Great sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
what do we think about the fight itself, the Thunderdome?
So I think
fight?
Thunderdome has become a cultural like touchstone. The word like Thunderdome.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
It was
Two men
referenced
enter, one man leaves. Like
in that Tupac music video for California Love.
right.
They just like recreated the Thunderdome
Yeah.
sequence.
That actually is a real Thunderdome.
Tupac enter, one Pac leave.
yeah.
Tupac entered.
Tupac
Dr.
entered.
Dre did not come out.
No, he did not. So I always just imagined it was like, oh, it's like a gladiator ring where you fight. When I finally saw the movie, like not that long ago, I was not aware of the like elastic bungee cord element of it. So that's what makes it really cool. So like Roger Ebert really liked this movie, and he gave it a really good review. And he talked about the Thunderdome sequence like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. He was like, this is like a new like visual language for like action scenes, and I think it's good. But I don't know.
What
What
did Roger Ebert think of the Jackass movies? Out of
Oh,
curiosity?
He warmed up to them eventually.
I think he did, yeah.
They both hated the first one, but then I think by the second one they were giving them like 2 thumbs up.
Because
Nice.
if you think this is if you think Thunderdome is visual poetry, then you have to like
right.
you must feel similar of the Jackass movies. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's sort of that similar kind of spectacle of like most extreme elimination challenging two
Yeah.
fellows at each other, throwing some spears and swords and chainsaws.
Yeah. Yeah, the X-ray of Ryan Dunn's bowels with the little car in it.
Yeah.
That's the Mad Max car. Yeah,
Yes, the Interceptor.
yeah.
It intercepted Ryan
It
Dunn's
did intercept.
ass.
Yeah. Recipes.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah. So the weapons in the Thunderdome are all like in the top like of the dome, and they have to spring up and
Yeah.
and like when you're playing Peter Pan on the stage, as a young woman, and you jump up and you're flying around. Alison Williams, of course, in the Peter Pan Live. Still need to see that.
It's goofy. Like, I like the sequence not for being like a really amazingly choreographed fight sequence with lots of like hard hitting punches and a lot of impact, like a lot of visceral impact. I like it because it's this giant hulking guy in a helmet and Mel Gibson slinging around on bungees, grabbing like chainsaws and spears.
Flying through the air.
It is sloppy. Like it's not. There's not like martial arts going on. It is almost more realistically like a lot of rolling around in the dirt.
Mel Gibson bonks him on the head with a giant hammer, like a giant mallet. It's kind of cartoony, but I like it.
It's a great scene. Yeah. And it's funny too.
Now, because like this movie's so much lighter on like vehicular action than the other movies, and I think like this sequence is supposed to be in lieu of that. Are you all right with this being there instead of more car stuff, or do you think it would have been better to find more car stuff space?
I think they're obviously trying to do something different, and like whatever, I'm fine with that. My problem is not like with exchanging the car stuff with like with stuff about like a bizarre
land.
society, that has trampoline based combat
judicial system.
My problem is where it goes after that,
Mm-hmm.
which we will talk about.
I love the announcer guy, the weird like scarecrow vibe going on.
He's great. He's also when he first gets to Bartertown, you counter all these like characters that again I just think are realized wonderfully. Like there's the big bald guy, I think he's called the Collector, and you need to like propose a trade before you even get into Bartertown, like what you can offer this little society, which again, like Aunty Entity, she's just trying to run some sort of society with some semblance of order.
Buns trading zone.
And then she has one henchman who's got that
that's
like,
a local reference.
two books enter, one DVD wire shelf leaves.
She's also got that like henchman who has the weird like mannequin head kind of
those like the Royal Guard, I guess.
I love that guy. Yeah, because so
his name's Angry.
His name's Angry?
Not in the movie. Like his real name is Angry. The actor's name was Angry.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, he has like a I guess like a Japanese like no or kabuki mask like thing that's poking out, and he's the henchman guy who gets owned like 5 or 6 times throughout the movie.
He's kind of like the West of this movie.
Yeah. Does he actually end up getting killed at the end?
Angry Anderson. He gets like really fucked up during that last chase.
He gets horribly mangled so many times.
But I don't know if you ever actually see him
he gets
die.
into like a lot of Looney Tunes stuff.
Yeah.
Like
whoa!
He seems to be like the butt of like every major like point of violence in that whole final sequence.
Well, because he's also he's like the antagonist that we want to see get like his comeuppance, because he's the one who is more actively violent versus like Tina Turner doesn't actually hurt anyone.
Nothing really bad happens to Tina Turner at all.
No,
because again she's like Lady Eboshi in Princess Mononoke. She's just established this industrialized colony, and like some people, the forest spirits can view it as bad. But she's providing a home to, like a lot of people.
Are you gonna side against the forest spirits? That's always a bad idea, isn't it? They're like gods.
No, all I'm saying is there's nuance.
And, both movies have a lot of pigs.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That is true.
A lot of connections between these.
One thing in the Thunderdome that I know would have bothered me as a kid, is like, they're one of the, I guess, blasters charging at Mel with like a spear, and he gets out of the way, and somebody on the like one of the spectators on the outside gets stabbed. That sort of thing, like collateral damage of like innocent bystanders. I mean, even though I guess he's there at the bloodbath,
the
like,
local blood sport,
cheering it on. But those sorts of things always really bothered me, or I would be like, oh, that's like not fair. You know what I mean? Yeah, that like childhood sense of like justice.
It doesn't bug me when like it happens to like one person, but when an entire movie just becomes that, I just kind of like my eyes glaze over. Whether it's like Snakes on a Plane or Jurassic World. Was a big sinner in that regard.
Yeah. We talked about that for sure. Yeah.
What just a mean movie, just mean spirited and not in like a camp or fun way of the original one. It's just kind of like.
No, I know what you mean, and like specifically that one character's death where they dunk her.
And the babysitter.
Yeah, whose crime was being, a woman who takes business too seriously. Yeah, as is the crime of Claire, their aunt. It's like you can't be a woman who does business and also takes care of children.
Yeah. Her crime was really only just being Bryce Dallas Howard's employee. She's just doing what she was told.
Yeah, she isn't really that bad.
No.
Anyway, we have talked about this in that episode.
But the point is, we don't know anything about until they make a prequel about that guy. We don't know anything about the dude who gets stabbed.
And all of these people are... All of your faves in the post-apocalypse are problematic.
Yeah,
they have all done sex crimes and cannibalisms.
He's probably stepped on a baby bird or two.
No doubt. Yeah, for sure. So Mad Max ends up pacifying Blaster
using the power of sound.
Yeah, using the whistle that Master blows to control him.
He secretly kept a vuvuzela in his pocket the entire time.
He whips out his iPhone and plays the rap horn sound effect that we know and love. Wait, where is it?
Yeah.
I have it.
I have an app that does it too.
I have it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I could just add that in post, but it's way easier to just do it here.
Mm-hmm.
You should drop in
Anyway.
some of those crowd sounds from that World Cup where everyone had a vuvuzela, and it was
awful.
just like...
Those are brutal. And then like
Yeah.
every kid had a vuvuzela for like a week. You know? Terrible. My fucking cousins had them. It was like, wah, 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 wah. Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, he uses the whistle, incapacitates Blaster with a few knocks on the head from the mallet,
Yeah.
knocks his helmet off, which is when we discover that Blaster
Oh, no.
Yeah.
is he's a simple-minded fellow.
Yeah. He's
The
a
heart of a
giant,
the heart of
mentally
a
disabled
child.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they act like it's a surprise, but it's also kind of like, I mean, I don't know.
Isn't that like a third of the world now?
And Max has mercy on him, and Master comes in and says, "Stop! Don't you see? He has the mind of a child."
Yeah.
You know? Just maybe a little insulting, but yeah.
But you know, those are the rules, and Blaster is executed by the main henchman villain, Angry
The
Anderson.
doll-faced, yeah.
Yeah.
Try. Can you imagine like your name's Angry and you start like a Tinder profile and people come across your profiles, it says Angry, and you're like, is that like, what's the deal with that? Like every
Yeah.
time you've seen a Tinder profile, like their name is like Jazz or Toronto. And
Oh yeah, I see all sorts of stuff like that.
Pseudonyms, I guess. People don't want to know
Pseudonyms,
their...
some people just have names like that, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
There was a. She probably shouldn't say this, but there was. I'll just say I came across a name the other day. I won't tell you where it was, but it was. But I'll bleep that out.
Sure.
Wow, at the Dairy Queen around the corner
Yeah,
from here?
was at when I was working at the Dairy Queen. There's a guest. The first name Happy, like Happy Gilmore.
Mm-hmm.
The last name Daily, but Daily, like I'm happy
every
daily.
day. Yeah.
Happy every day.
Yeah.
That's
Happy
awesome.
Daily, and that's an amazing name.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's someone you want to date on Tinder.
Not Angry Anderson.
Yeah.
That sounds
You
like
have to remember with Angry Anderson, he's Australian, right?
Mm.
And like we were saying, they all have like wacky, like
Yeah.
Jimmo and
Angro.
Zeppo, Groucho, Harpo. You know, they all have these crazy names.
Yeah, he's
Mel.
actually he's actually one of the seven dwarves.
yeah.
You've got Angry Anderson, Sleepy Anderson,
So, yeah, Doc Anderson,
Doc Anderson, Dopey Anderson,
Dopey Anderson,
Bashful
yeah.
Anderson.
Bashful, of course. Wait, how many was that? Was that all of them?
I think that was
all of
7.
them.
Yeah, pretty good.
Surly.
Wait for the live action Snow White movie to come
Oh,
out.
can't wait. Yeah, cannot wait.
They all have a different mask that they wear, propped up
Are they
behind their head.
are they doing something different with them in the new one?
I think they're still dwarves.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I thought there were some people who were upset about that. People are upset about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's true.
Nothing
Yeah.
gets people more mad than a new live action Disney movie.
I mean,
Good.
not good. Yeah,
Yeah.
not good. Did you watch the Mufasa
The
colon,
trailer.
a Lion King story or whatever?
Yeah, I guess
Called?
I did sort of passively watch that trailer. It didn't really have much to sink your teeth into.
You aren't stunned by the beautiful images?
Music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh no!
Now, the only thing that really struck out to me is that there seemed to be one shot that seemed to portray Mufasa getting into an epic duel with Pumbaa, or a
Oh,
Pumbaa style,
Must have been a different warthog.
yeah.
yeah.
Unless they're setting this up as like a Marvel versus Capcom style, clash
Maybe.
of your favorite Lion King characters,
I would play that video game
Yeah.
if there was some sort of Disney fighting game.
I did. There was Kingdom Hearts 2, and you do get to go to Lion King World in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I never took the dive into Kingdom Hearts. I heard they were exceedingly complicated, at least plot-wise.
Plot-wise,
Yeah.
they're complicated.
Yeah, the game you're just running around collecting
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
and
a very
hitting people.
complicated story for
Yeah.
a game where you're mostly pressing square
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot. And people have commented on this about two is much easier than the first one as well.
Mm.
And it's so easy that I remember during the Lion King sequence, I actually fell asleep in the middle of a boss battle, and I still won.
That
I kind of dozed off, and then my eyes awoke, and it was the cut scene for having defeated a giant turtle thing.
That's not a good sign.
But they also have like dopey difficulty spikes. So like you'll be doing this like really easy sort of like battle with a boss, and then suddenly it's like, all right, we're just going to drop this mini game on you in the middle of it, and you have to press triangle like 300 times in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Or you lose, and you have to start the fight all the way back from the beginning.
Jesse was playing like the Kingdom Hearts collection when we were living together, and I watched. Probably cumulatively like 2 hours of cutscenes, like over several months, and it's really funny because they have all the Disney voice talent, right? So the characters sound, but the dialogue is like all very verbose in that like Final Fantasy way or whatever. It's just a really weird like mix of stuff,
Say, fellas, did somebody mention the door to darkness?
Yeah, imagine, like, you don't have to imagine, because it is exactly what it is. That, like, the guy who made Final Fantasy VII was given, like, the keys to the Disney Kingdom. And all the Disney characters, like, they're as how you know them, like, as established Disney characters. But he gets to put them in whatever new context or scenario he wants, and they're absurd. It's an absurd contrast.
Yeah.
Of, like,
he gets to have his way with them.
The 3DS one, which is a very good one. There's a Hunchback of Notre Dame level, and in that one, it kind of just says like, "Oh yeah, the reason Judge Frollo is racist is actually because of the interdimensional shadow demons
That makes sense.
that corrupt people's hearts. It has little to do with like his own biases or French culture writ large.
Do you not think that racism, specifically French racism, is not the direct result of shadow demons?
Interdimensional shadow demons.
Interdimensional shadow demons.
Don't you think that's true?
Well, I mean, I haven't seen any real French person erupt into a giant multicolored, sort of like smoothie colored bat creature.
Right. Not yet.
Not yet. If it happens, then I'll eat my hat. But until that day, I think we have to come up with an alternative theory.
Yeah, that perhaps it's just society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
And not the literal heartless. It's merely heartlessness.
Yeah, that is pervasive in specifically French society. Yeah.
You also go to the Tron. What was the name of the Tron sequel again?
Legacy.
Tron Legacy.
Legacy.
Was it Legacy?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a Tron Legacy level in that too.
Good.
It's on a 3DS. That particular like color makeup a little hard to make out.
Okay.
Runner.
Well, so that's the Kingdom Hearts section.
Yeah, that's for another. That's for your next franchise.
Yeah, when we do the Kingdom. I mean, if you cuddle the Kingdom, like I was saying, if you cuddle the Kingdom Hearts cutscenes together,
you get a funny movie.
That's a pretty good movie. That's 5 bags of popcorn, definitely.
And you'll ask yourself, who are these people in cloaks? And the truth is, you're never gonna get a great answer.
Yeah. It's not like Memoria where it's all sealed up with a bow at the end,
Kingdom Hearts is definitely more elusive with its...
Kingdom Hearts actually is a little bit more difficult to understand than Memoria, I would say. Yeah.
Where can I watch Memoria? Because now I'm pretty curious.
I have a Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
That would be and I would love to watch it with you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Let's do it. I'd love to have a Memoria night.
And that goes for the entire listenership too. If you want to watch Memoria, just come over to Ben's place.
You can slide into my DMs on Twitter, Fartin Fink at Fartin Fink, Barton Fink with an F. You slide right in there. You say, "I am in Toronto. I would like to watch Memoria with you.
I want to come to the Memoria screening."
Yeah, I will say yes.
Special Memoria screening happening in beautiful Toronto, Ontario, August 28th. 2024. Everyone is welcome, all listeners of the franchisees, and all fans of Memoria, and all fans of cinema itself are welcome. And go to follow the franchisees on Instagram and on Twitter. Ben's home address is please reach franchisees level 5 to unlock, and postal code is please reach franchisees level 6 to unlock. And phone number, please reach franchisees level 7 to unlock. And email, please reach franchisees level 8 to unlock. And social insurance, please reach franchisees level 9 to unlock. And list of fears and desires, please reach franchisees level 10 to unlock. Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you there on August, I think I said 28th. Whatever, Memorial Day.
And then we're going to watch 8 hours of Kingdom Hearts cutscenes.
Yeah. And we'll decide which one is more difficult to penetrate work of art. You'll see. So he wins Thunderdome. And what then
he says
what
like
happens?
he says like this wasn't part of the deal, so he kind of exposes that this was, you know, set up a bit, which is naughty. So he kind of breaks his deal with Aunty, but she still kind of gets what she wants because Blaster's dead. She's able to subjugate Master by, you know, lowering him to the pig level if he refuses to play ball.
For a minute there, I was like, oh, he gets eaten by pigs. That's so fucked up. But I forgot he doesn't.
And then
he almost does.
As punishment for breaking his deal, Max, he busts the deal, so he has to face the wheel.
Yeah. And
which is another just, I think, a hilariously fun sequence where they have like a wheel of fortune, and they even have like a Vanna White wheel girl kind of like showing off all the options, which is like hard labor, death, like Auntie's choice.
I was like pausing to see like what all the potential things are, and really death is like the only truly
PG-13.
The worst one?
The worst one is death. But the other ones are just like, you know, he gets gulag, which turns out to be exile, because not what I thought it was going to be.
They don't have an actual gulag set up.
No, they strap him to like a donkey with like a carrot and a stick kind of thing, but it's a ball of water.
Mascot head,
and he puts like a giant mascot
he's wearing
head
the
on.
Frank helmet.
Yeah, he's wearing the Frank helmet from Lenny Abramson's Frank.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Saw that in theaters.
Haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it.
I remember actually kind of liking it. But anyway, he gets sent off into the desert until the horse dies. Mm-hmm. And then he's just kind of able to, you know, free himself and
wander around.
Yeah. But he passes out when he's rescued by Warrior Girl.
One quick thing about the wheel, it also had a free spin
slot.
So like if you landed that, so it gets you to spin again.
Spin it again.
Yeah. Really?
No death.
You know what?
No whammies.
It was very PG-13 and kind of, again, to speak to Auntie's nuance, it was a pretty sensible wheel. Like death was a pretty small sliver, you know, like hard labor was like the big one. They're not like that. They're not as cruel as the roving band in Road Warrior, you know?
No, you're right. And the general like malice and like threat of sexual violence that is in the first two movies is not as present here. There's a little bit of weird kind of like what did Master and Blaster get up to? maybe that was just something I was thinking about.
Overall, Bartertown, a pretty good place to live.
In a post-apocalypse? Yeah.
It could be a lot worse.
But not as good as where our friend Max is heading next.
He ends up in a desert oasis that is inhabited by a gang of Ewoks. Yeah. Teenage Ewoks and
Teenage
baby
mutant
Ewoks.
human Ewoks.
Yeah. They're little like feral children. Like, and remember we were saying, oh, if you loved the feral child in Mad Max 2, you're gonna love the feral children in this next movie. You know, I don't know, there's like 50 of them or 40 of them or something, right?
Yeah, and they're all the descendants of a plane crash.
Yeah.
That I guess crashed nearby, and they made it to their descendants made it to this oasis where they've lived on, and they worship the figure of, I guess, that flight's pilot, Captain Walker, as like the hero who's going to come and take them to Tomorrowland, which is Sydney, Australia, Sydney, New South Wales.
Now, to pull a recent meme, and just like, you wouldn't survive in the asylum I grew up in. That's sort of like what you and Max were supposed to be thinking right now, because these little shits have no idea how good they have it in this world. They live in like a paradise. They have a watermelon. They have like fruits and produce.
Yeah.
they have like clean water just like running like a river in the middle of their little Ewok society. They're as good as you could possibly get in this world, but because they have this prophecy of Captain Walker, they're like determined to leave. They want to go back to the city that they see in their like viewfinder.
Right. Yeah. That the prophecy is motivating them, perhaps, but it's also ultimately blinding them from seeing how good they have it. And they'll learn. They'll learn when they go out into the desert
and encounter Humongous.
Yeah. All of the roving bands of rape cannibals, right?
None of these kids have even hit puberty. Never mind, like.
Yeah, well, 1 or 2 of them are like teenagers, right?
Yeah, there's the big boy.
Yeah.
And then Savannah's kind of like seems like the eldest of the girls.
And she has all the funniest like "you speak to true" lines.
Yeah.
What does she say about Mad Max? He's got word stuff up his arse to his something. There's some really weird lines in this.
Yeah.
Where they might as well be Ewoks going like "Goo gaga."
Again, because like the sort of Star Warsification of this movie, it's also like there's more non-Australians than ever in them, but they're still doing the like slang. So like Tina Turner always calls Max like the Raggedy Man, which is so like I'm part of this world too. I can say stupid bullshit as well.
Yeah, they let her ad-lib it.
Yeah,
it's like come up with whatever you want.
She has like a little moment where she's like, you know who I was before all this? I was no one. And now like she's kind of just implying that her life's gotten better since the apocalypse and since she's like founded Bartertown, and like just little things like that enrich the characters.
Better to reign in hell than to serve in a comfortable earth. Yeah.
Which is also what the feral children call their little oasis. They call it Earth.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't even mention that in this movie. Again, 80s adventure style. Mad Max just has a monkey. Mm-hmm. He has a little monkey companion.
He does.
It manages to follow him all the way out
to
survive. It's a special oasis.
Pig Killer, his friend Pig Killer, who he meets in the pig pen, frees the monkey and gives him some water to find Max.
Right.
New fan favorite character Pig Killer.
Oh yeah. Popular action figure. Yeah. So I don't think like. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a good movie, and I don't think it's even as simple as like, oh, the kid stuff is bad. I just don't think it delivers on the promise of the first part of the movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because once, like, by the time we leave Bartertown, that's really when I'm like, I want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to figure out the intricacies of this place.
There's so much intrigue in Bartertown.
Yeah.
In which the Kid Village has zero intrigue.
Exactly. The Kid Village, like, even before they go out, they tell you the very long story of, like, why they were there. And, and that's filled with all of the true stuff, like the plane went crash, and, like, all this stupid bullshit. Like, whatever. That's fine. But it's it's just not. It's all just like explicable in a way that the Bartertown is not. Like I want Mel to do a fistful of dollars or Yojimbo on everybody, like playing off the sides or whatever. Like I'm more interested in that, I guess. Or maybe there's just more to like do there.
And it doesn't help that like. The kids and their motivations are annoying. They're
kind of annoying.
It's cloying, and you're like, oh, you should just really stay here and appreciate you little punks. You don't know how bad I've had it.
Yeah.
That one shot where like they walk a couple of yards to show Max the like actual plane.
That's pretty.
That's
cool.
And
they're all standing on it, but there's that one kid who like they had stand all the way up on like the top part of the tail fin of that plane. I just thought like that's the bravest fucking kid in the world. Like
because it looks like a real practical plane set.
They're also
right?
like standing, but they're all like standing on the wings or on the top, which I'm sure is a little anxiety inducing too. But going up all the way on the wing,
they probably had him strapped.
Remember like in Banjo-Kazooie and Clanker's Cavern when you had to go up on his tail and it's like so narrow and such a precise drop. Imagine trying to do that shit in real life. And you're just some little
it's
name extra in a Mad Max.
It's
movie.
like all those Instagram like videos or whatever where you see like the travel bloggers and they're like, here I am like hiking up to this like remote thing in Iceland or something, and it's like one step I could die, but I'm not going to. Like I know what I'm doing, and while you're watching them and you're like, take that step, just take it. Just take just one step.
Good content.
Yeah.
That crash site is just like an Australian like heritage site of where like a Qantas flight just went down in the outback and people go out there and
it is the largest and deadliest air disaster in Australia.
In Oceania.
They just and some of those kids are the descendants of some of the survivors. They thought we've got it good here. Like why go back to Perth? That's an Australian town, city I know.
It is, yeah. I met a guy from Perth once.
This is one of these dirty limericks, eh?
No. I once met a man from Perth.
Oh, okay. Something about girth. Come on.
No. I met an actual man from Perth, and he said
and
something.
And his cock was huge.
Even more absurd. He was just like, "Oh, mate, you got to visit me in Perth sometime. Sharks will be fucked out the water." And I was like, what? Is that an expression or something? And then I asked this other Australian I was with, I was like, is that an expression? Sharks will be fucked out the water? And she was just like, no, he's just wasted. But they have a lot of sharks out in Perth.
Sure. Yeah. And salties. I don't know if they're in Perth. Saltwater crocodiles.
Oh,
I do admire the Australian dedication to slang, which is very well reflected in these movies.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. It's part of the culture is make slang. I just wish like that 40% of it weren't like racial slurs, I guess would be my one.
In Australia?
In Australia.
Well, I mean, surely. Yeah.
The thing, I've traveled a bit. I've never gone to Australia itself, though. There was a time a major video game company who had an office there mistook me for some. Was I living with you?
I think I remember at one point you were like, I might live in Australia.
Yeah,
I might be moving to Australia
because I won't say which very major.
Oh, why not? Nobody listens.
No,
you don't have to.
Yeah, a game company so large that they would have an Australian office for whatever reason, mistook me when I was doing my Now Magazine column. Apparently, there's this alt weekly in Australia also called Now Magazine, and they mistook me for writing for that, so they just thought I was local and offered me a job.
Oh, that's awesome.
And, right.
It didn't come to full fruition, but yeah, because I was like, the thing was like they offered to they said we'll fly you and your partner out, and I was single at the time, so I just thought, who loves me enough for like a free, all expenses paid trip to Australia?
I would have done it.
Ben.
I would have done it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Zach and I used to live together, and also at a time, Maxim and Zach and I all lived together. That's right.
You should have lined up this entire franchise with former roommates of Ben.
Yeah, I could have. Yeah,
there was a number.
There was a number.
Yeah. I'd say you, me, and Maxim were like the biggest dorks of the rotation, right?
I mean, sure, you can include me in that if you want.
You could get Anna on one of these, or
Anna will for sure come on eventually. Yeah, definitely. We'll find a good franchise too. Yeah, and once you come on too, you're in the family for life. So.
We should just have a big reunion, like everyone.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. We would do something. We'd find something better to do than
podcast.
Be on the podcast.
Just do a podcast, like the Ben's former roommate special.
Yeah, great.
I think I would kill myself.
Yeah. Well, me too. Joking. There's a couple X's in there. Yeah. Anyway.
My narrative.
Not myself. Not including.
No, Zach and I never did date.
No,
which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just friends.
That's beautiful. My memory of this movie, my narrative of it was always that like the movie kind of comes to a grinding halt when we reach the kids.
Yeah. Is that how you felt this time?
No.
Okay.
Well, I do definitely think, it's a hard left turn into territory I'm less interested in. I was kind of surprised, with the exception of the long story, that they kind of tell through, they have, this rectangle made of, sticks that it's almost like the
frame?
A TV, yeah. Once they get past that, the stuff with the kids, it does move at a decent pace, and they get to, oh, the separatists, they left in the middle of the night. We have to go save them because they're dumb and they don't know like what's out there.
They're going to fall into the quicksand.
Yeah, exactly. But, once that stuff gets moving, the wrap up doesn't feel like a slog. It's just, like you, I would have just loved to stay in Bartertown a bit longer and get to know those mechanisms a bit more. Because the Bartertown stuff, it really like rips by. Like they get through it at a super quick pace.
Yeah, and they end up back there at the end for the climax of the movie, right?
The train chase.
I think
the plane
it doesn't
chase.
really help that like while Bartertown explains itself so well and so swiftly, like it so visually communicates everything that's going on here. Whereas with the Kid Village, they literally sit you down for like a 6-minute lecture.
Yeah. And even though they have a bunch of sticks that form a frame like a movie, you're still not entertained. When somebody tells me a story, a lot of the time I'm like, oh God, so boring. I hate this. I wish I were watching a movie. And you can't fool me by having holding a bunch of sticks around you, creating a frame, or doing the director of frame. Like I'm a director behind the scenes.
I'm lining up
frame
a
by
shot.
Or taking a cardboard box and cutting out like a window in it.
You can't fool me, okay?
I'm a TV now, Ben.
I am the master and the blaster of screen time. And I love screen time, and I work at screen, and I have phone screen, and I have a TV screen at home and computer screen. I love all of them. And I want to be spending as much time on screen as possible.
What about a sunscreen?
Yeah, I should, and that's something I forget about a lot. I got the first sunburn.
Getting pretty sunny.
When we were sitting in the park, Zach. I actually got sunburned. I got badly sunburned.
You were talking how red you were getting. Like,
yeah, what the fuck? That was like a few weeks ago, and it wasn't even that sunny out. Stupid. Anyway. Okay, well, I do like the final, train chase and
train, planes, and automobiles.
It's not entirely clear, like what the setup for the final act is. It's sort of like, all right, we got this plane. The master's pretty good with machines. Maybe he can figure out something going on here. Also, we're so close to Bartertown, we may as well just go back. It's like
yeah.
We've done a full boomerang, as Australians like to say.
Stick's done a boomerang on us.
And now we're back in Bartertown. While we're here, let's free Master, see if he knows how a plane works.
Yeah.
And maybe we can get these kids to like
a better place.
Fine, go back to Sydney, Australia.
Yeah.
They free Pig Killer too.
Yes.
And there's that moment when they're all in the kind of train mobile, and Max is like, "What's the plan?" And Pig Killer's like, "There ain't no plan," or something like that, which is it is very sloppy. But then they happen to run into Jedediah and his son, and all the kids who are with them happen to fit on the plane. Like it just kind of works out, a bit too.
Yeah, that
nicely.
Plane fits a lot more people than
it looks.
It's a lot of people.
The gyrocopter.
I guess they're on like the outside on the wings or something.
No, they're like all like squeezed into like the little compartment, like a clown car.
Yeah.
I guess if he's using it to like steal people's shit, there must be some amount of luggage space. But
so this is the sequence where angry Australian himself gets just the shit kicked out of him like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, so
very funny.
They free Master.
Yeah.
They hop into a train, and obviously now it's time for full Mad Max mode. Aunty Entity's like, no, let's get the motors revving. Let's everyone get your keys. Convoy time. So you get your classic, just like caravan, crazy car caravan.
Yeah, the war rig, as we'll see in the next one.
And it's similar setup to like even Fury Road. A bit where it's just like they got the special guy.
Yeah,
we got to get the special guy back.
Yeah, like because they can't run Bartertown without the brilliant mind of Master. Like it's not that complicated. Like shovel the pig shit. Like create methane.
Someone must have been keeping notes down there.
Well, I just I don't know. I'm not a genius. I think I could probably figure it out. Pig shit goes here.
Kind of precarious to have the entire system hinging
in the mind of an old man. A little old man.
Well, that's feels like a lot of the world these days is
right.
Yeah, maybe
that's
maybe these are simply the follies we struggle to avoid in the
perhaps
real world.
we do need a third party run by Master Blaster. do you
Don't
think,
blame me. I voted for Blaster.
Do you think that the Biden-Trump election this year would you have easier time voting for either candidate if they were simply riding on top of a beefier candidate? Mm-hmm. Like they were like a one half of a two-person entity.
It is easy to imagine like Don Jr. just like scampering up his father's like sort of haunch.
Right. I guess it'd be better if they were the blasters and someone else was the master, because their brains are pretty mushy. Right?
Yeah. So they both put a giant old coffee tin on their head. Mm-hmm. And then you have Don Jr. on Trump's back, and you have Kamala on Joe's back. You didn't just fall out of the blaster without anything.
You didn't just fall out of an airplane into an oasis in the desert. You exist within the desert of your own making. You know? She said that. She said something like that. Yeah. Anyway, they chase
in Thunderdome.
Yeah, in Thunderdome. Yeah. They get off in the plane. Everything's fine. Everybody wins. The kind of big, Mad Max heroic moment, right? Is like there's not going to be. I think the plane is like too heavy with
he says there's not enough runway. He's like,
runway. Yeah, so he's like, okay, we'll spin that shit around. I'll get out of the plane. I'll get into my car, and I'll play classic chicken with them, and create that runway for you.
Yeah, just crash one of the cars so they can sort of.
Yeah, and they go through. And and like the end of the original, like Dawn of the Dead, they fly off into an uncertain future.
But yeah, as far as anger goes, as you alluded to earlier, all the major bad things happening to people in the sequence all happen to him. It's remember at the end of RoboCop when he disposes of each member of the gang?
Yeah.
Imagine it was just one guy he was doing that to over and over again, and you kind of have the dynamic of angry.
Yeah.
He just gets destroyed.
And he keeps up. He keeps reemerging. You think oh, now he's done.
Dead. Yeah.
But then he pops back up, and he's perfectly.
It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. That part of this is a funny movie. This is,
it is. I'm
and
glad.
Even when he finally goes down, it's still not definitive. It's very
right.
He's just kind of you just see his hand clenches a bit, and then goes.
Yeah, and Aunty and the rest are fine too, and they encounter Max because he always gets left behind, and they let him be, and he kind of lets them be, and they kind of just go their separate ways, and the kids get to go to Sydney. Mm-hmm. But I'm glad you brought it up, Zach, that you mentioned that the similarities to this in Fury Road, because in Road Warrior we were talking a lot about how that laid the groundwork for Fury Road, but after having watched this too, it pulls a lot from this as well. It really is the synthesis of everything that came before it, just blown up to a huge level.
Oh yeah. The society depicted in Fury Road,
the Citadel,
feels very much like a barter town.
And if you feel Aunty Entity is a more fun character than an interesting villain, because she's just not especially evil. She's then they're okay, well, we can have the funness of that and superimpose a horrible person who you want to see horrible things happen to.
For Immortan Joe.
Yeah,
which is a very funny name.
I like all the names in these movies. They're just so Screw Loose and Jedediah the Pilot and the Humongous and Aunty Entity. Just good He's when we were talking about Unfrosted, and we were saying that there's one joke where they just have two wacky names for cereals, and that's it. They only came up with two.
Two quick cutaway gags for fake cereals from the 60s, and they're fucking
and they both
stupid.
Stink.
Yeah,
and there's only two of them. Yeah, it's this is all you could come up with.
It's like that episode of 30 Rock when the sketch is just stupid names for cereals and they can't come up with anything. It's what about Fart Blaster?
Yeah, see, that's a funnier cereal than the ones that come up. Grandma's Holes and
Walter Chamberflakes.
Wilt Chamberflakes.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot for Wilt Chamberlain related humor.
I mean, you're selling me on Wilt Chamberflakes, but it's pretty bad.
But it just feels like George Miller just has this endless pool of creativity and guzzling to pull from, you know?
Yeah.
Have either of you in this series so far discussed what you think your Mad Max world names?
No.
Well, let's do that, and then we'll rate it and wrap it up. So yeah, that's a good thought.
The cat fucker.
The cat fucker.
Don't
Alex looked up at his cat and then looked back here and said, "The cat fucker." What's going on up in there, Alex? In that noggin of yours?
Just trying to think of a crazy, disturbing post-apocalyptic name.
Why would you?
This is the first thing I saw.
Yeah, but
it was going to be blank fucker. I just didn't. It just depended what the Mad Lib was.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Zach?
How about why ruin a classic? I'll just be Mad Max also.
Yeah, Mad Max also.
Yeah.
Okay. Very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben, what about the Cinemungus for you?
I like that. The Cinemungus. Yeah. Yeah. Because he's I actually wrote this was like for a film school assignment or something, like a post-apocalyptic like script that was sort of like a jokey kind of Mad Max thing. And like part one of the characters was basically based on myself being like hoarding the DVDs and being like, these are the sacred texts of the old age,
right?
And but like all the important movies that like nobody gives a shit about, and it's like, some movie that has no cultural footprint is like, this is our god now, and all sorts of stuff like that. So that is, Cinemungus is really apt. Yeah. I was thinking though, what about the Finger Blaster, right? Because I'm always fucking, fucking,
No, go on. Yeah,
just
finish your thought.
Just fucking.
You could be either or both. You could be the Finger Blaster, aka Cinemungus.
I mean, a lot of the big characters have like two names, right? So you could be Finger Blaster Cinemungus.
Terrible. Cinnabon, more like it. That's what I'm talking about. Finger blasting Cinnabuns.
There was one thing we didn't mention in the Road Warrior episode, which is kind of like an alternate name for Humongous. But when his herald is introducing him, he calls him the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla.
Yeah,
which
so
is a
cool.
Great fucking line.
That's so cool. Yeah.
He's just got an endless well of creativity he's just pulling from, and I'm so excited to see what he does.
It works on any Ayatollah. Yeah,
I'm just really jazzed for Furiosa, and to
man.
re-examine Fury Road, though it hasn't been that long since I rewatched it. But
I'm probably 4 years ago.
My heart's open to it being really cool. I guess I just have it kind of like whenever a prequel is made instead of a sequel, I kind of have my hesitations.
And same, but what I have heard from the good people at the Cannes Film Festival, so it's always funny around May every year, because the people you're getting the reactions from Cannes, some of them are film critics and trust, and get to go there because of their jobs. A lot of the other people are fucking idiots who have the money to go to Cannes but have no taste, no frame of reference, and they're just like, they'll just go and they're like, Megalopolis was weird, and you're like, wow, like great, like I'm really glad I got to hear that take. I'm really glad you spent whatever, like 20 grand going to fucking France to be like, I didn't get it. Like the new Paul Schrader movie is mid, like, oh, good.
I like this bit of country bumpkins.
Yeah, it's like Forrest Gump goes to Cannes.
I went to France. Yeah. They told me I go to a film festival about
in a soup can.
About cans. Yeah. He hates these cans. That's another Simple Jack style.
Were you at the TIFF's premiere of Twixt?
No, God, I didn't live here yet. I would have.
From what I'm reading,
in 3D.
I can't remember.
And they remixed, right?
No, they didn't do that. I was disappointed because I thought that was the whole shtick. Was that?
Oh no, the new thing is the remix. The Twixt remixed, right?
Well, I thought from what I had understood is that the whole shtick was that it was going to be remixed live by that, what's his name? He's the big party DJ who hated Toronto after his skull got stolen during that.
What?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because he did the score for Twixt, and he was going to re-edit the movie live or some nonsense like
Cool.
that.
Yeah.
That was the pitch for Twixt initially, but when I saw it, that clearly wasn't going on, and it just felt more like the scenes could be rearranged if they wanted to, in a way that felt a little bit like you were just watching the cutscenes from a video game with all the gameplay cut out.
I kind of like Twixt.
No, I'm not saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's what watching the movie feels like.
Sure.
They're just like, you can imagine like you're the cool biker vampire character, and you're like doing missions between worlds, and then they play these cutscenes to add a bit of like flavor and context to things.
Well,
anyways, point is, I'm getting huge Twixt vibes from what I'm reading about Megalopolis.
Oh,
and just kind of the tone and the experience of it.
But that's great. Like I'm fully on board with that. And then with Furiosa, like the reviews have been very like similarly praiseworthy as like Fury Road when it came out.
I'm you're gonna do a whole damn episode about Fury Road, but remember how like skeptical we all collectively were that a new Mad Max movie?
Yeah, for a while, yeah.
And then when we all saw, we're like, why did we ever doubt? What were we? Why did we think this would be bad? Like, are we just cynical? Are we defeated? Are we?
There's a lot of reasons because we have all the right to be cynical about these things, like because most of the time. Lega sequels, long gap sequels, whatever, even if they're from the original, artists that behind the works we do love, like often are awful. They're like studio mandated, cash-ins, and they look like shit, and they have no energy, and they have no understanding of what made the original movie so great. And George Miller obviously did not do that. It's a passion project. It's not and maybe that something he just did for money. And he obviously has a great understanding of what makes these movies work. And it seemingly to the point of being obsessed with like making the best Mad Max, like going back to the well again and again and again, trying to create the greatest action spectacle ever made. And like, great. I can't wait.
When Thunderdome came out initially, like it was like the biggest gap between the Mad Max movies there had been, and maybe that's how people felt at the time too. Of like if this is the trajectory the movies are going to go in, like is it just going to be like diminishing returns? Because again, it's Thunderdome. It's not a bad movie, but if there has to be a worst Mad Max movie, then I guess this kind of like
I would say it is
sits in that spot.
Yeah.
To me, like it's on a pretty similar. I kind of hold it in the same space as the first one, you know? Like, I think, and it's interesting because, we could talk about, this was the franchise for a while. Like, it was just these three movies, it didn't go further than that. And I do like the first one a lot, but I also like this one. But then I just think Road Warrior is like a masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, like... If Fury Road didn't exist, to me they're kind of on even footing, and then Road Warrior is just like head and shoulders above. Like I just think that's an awesome movie.
Well, interesting. It'll be interesting to see where Furiosa ends up in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we get to see Pig Killer again.
Of
Pig
course.
Killer Origins.
What do you think how should we rank it? Do you think, Alex?
Maybe 10 out of 10. Story true kids.
Yeah,
like how many
rating
stars.
like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
but like realistically like a 6.
I think I'm more
7.
on the 7
A
side.
7.
Yeah, I'd lean towards 7 because think of the 6s in your life.
You're right.
And then think of this.
You're right. I'm thinking about them. It's a lot of 6s.
Yeah, a lot of 6s in this world.
A lot of 6s.
More clearly defined as a 6, where it's just like this could
you're right.
happily be a 7.
You're right. All right. Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, Zach. Is there anything you would like to promote or plug?
I mean, I guess we never really did much of an intro, but
not really. I mean,
I'm the editor-in-chief of Broken Pencil.
Broken Pencil.
Please subscribe to the magazine. We got 4 issues a year.
Magazine about zines.
It's a magazine about zines and sort of counterculture and underground art and lit and excitable oddballs in general.
Yeah.
Is it true you're working on a giant 30-page profile on Ben?
No.
Not until Jerem comes out.
There it is.
And then I win. Not until I win my first Canadian Screen Award.
We've had many filmmakers in our magazine in recent history. We did we kind of got ahead of the pack on the People's Joker with Vera Drew.
Zach and I were very privileged to be at the kind of infamous first and last festival screening of the movie.
I was there too.
Alex was also there. I remember that.
There's a you ended up in a bunch of the photos about the movie because you were just kind of lingering about in like the photos. Ended up on like the news wires. And I just always, every time I saw you just like hanging around back there, I think of like Bart Simpson and the local Simpson local boy shows their pride.
Yeah, the Pride Parade. Yeah, local boy, whatever. And it's just Bart looking like deer in the headlights. Yeah.
No, but we had Vera Drew on the cover. We had Boots Riley on the cover
so
of the
cool.
magazine as well. Cool. And I'll say that if you're a fan of Kino, of cinema, and if you're a fan of video gaming as well,
you're going
to enjoy some of the cover stars we have later this year.
Well, any sneak peeks? No, you can't tell us.
Yeah. Those are the sneak peeks.
Those are the hints. That's the hint.
Those are the hints. Okay. The newest issue is about Cop City, the RICO cases from Cop City.
Okay.
Last year, and like 61 people were indicted for activities including having a zine in their possession.
Wow.
So in Georgia, because of, are you familiar with like the RICO?
I know what a RICO is.
Yeah, they're like designed to like ensnare the mob, but now
for racketeering.
But after they did that, they're like, all right, well, who else can we use this shit on?
Because
it's like,
yeah.
So it's all about like what RICO does. It's like it's trying to prove intent through association, and the laws are so vague that association could be like anything. So infamously, they get a lot of like rappers with it, like they insinuate that if a rapper says something in their lyrics, then it can be taken literally. And they arrest the whole crew. Yeah. Like what's going on with Young Thug right now and Young Slime Life.
Right.
Free Thugger.
Right, yeah, and free slime for everyone.
And
free slime for every boy and girl.
They also hit Donald Trump with a RICO case as well, somewhat amusingly. But it can't all be Trump and rappers. So
no, and that is a shame. Yeah, but
you're gonna come for the franchisees eventually.
And the franchisees.
Watch your step there. You could.
I think we're gonna get into our first legal battle coming up pretty soon. Yeah, because things aren't really popping off, but they will eventually. And when they do, someone will go through each episode with a fine-tooth comb and identify all of the legally binding threats.
Once you start an encampment to free Megalopolis. And to get a Toronto screen.
Yeah, can you imagine? Yeah. I'm a cinema activist. Fucking the worst.
Cinemungus. Strikes
Lord
again.
Cinemungus.
And my Lord Cinemungus' like activism is release this movie, and it's like we are going to like Megalopolis will find a distributor, like it will play in Toronto. You don't have to worry. Release it now.
Let it play and then walk away. No more blood must be shed.
You combine all of Canada's favorite kind of activism, and you have like a truck convoy. You have like a Mad Max style truck convoy.
That's sick.
And you stand on top of there with
There probably was some Mad Max iconography in the Freedom Convoy
probably
movement. There must have
been. But they didn't have that vibe because like the thing about that convoy is they were all so clearly like wealthy, like independently financially stable. Like
if you're take off months at a time.
If you could take off work and bring like a bunch of separate people, bring the like portable sauna hitched to the back of their van, then it's like I don't know what causes really disturb these people on a normal basis other than some truckers might be inconvenienced if they don't get a vaccine.
And the good news is they got what they wanted.
They sure did. And they still seem to be upset about it.
And they will be forever until we elect a new Milhouse style Van Houten, that is, not Nixon.
Aunty Entity.
Aunty Entity. I cannot
Aunty
wait.
Entity for Prime Minister.
Well, until next time,
Yeah.
Rate, review, subscribe.
Follow on the socials.
Yeah, the franchisees on Twitter, Instagram.
Watch
I will make
Fury
some
Road.
sort of Mad Max first 3 episodes Twitter post tagging Maxim and Jordan and Zach, and you will all be obligated to retweet it if you want. Not really obligated.
And if you're playing along, watch Fury Road.
Yeah,
It'll be a
that's
lot of
what's
fun.
coming up next.
Yeah.
I would say don't just watch it, witness it.
Live it.
Ooh. Spray some chrome paint in your face.
Oh yeah, and spray some chrome paint in your mouth. That's the catchphrase, right?
See reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface